me. All right, everybody, this is Dave Sharp, 6A22 here in Enagic, and grateful and blessed because of a fantastic team, an amazing system, and as you're going to experience tonight, some amazing training, the fastest to ever hit 6A22 in Enagic. And I feel grateful to be a part of, part of such an amazing company here. We've got a product, we've got a company, we've got a CEO, we've got a comp plan that's truly second to none. And there are certainly some shiny opportunities, and there's some whiz-bang, flash-bam solutions out there that typically are here today and gone tomorrow. But as you guys know, Enagic is a 40-year-old plus gorilla. It is truly a tank. It's a naval ship that is just immovable. It's unbreakable, and it is second to none. So those of you who are already on the team, already in the company, I want to congratulate you, and you probably share in my excitement and gratitude for what we have here. And if for some reason you are finding this call, this training, if somehow this has slipped into your hands and you've not yet gotten involved, tonight you're truly going to hear the quality and the caliber of what we have for you here, because we are going to be tonight specifically focusing on how to grow your business in a duplicatable way, in not only a way that is easy and simple, but also a way that is duplicatable. And that's so very important, because the way that you build your business, your prospect is going to be looking at you and saying, do I want to build a business the way that I'm seeing it being built? And I can tell you, for me, just for those of you who don't know, kind of some of the challenges, even nightmares that you can encounter in building this business, I want to set the stage for our trainer tonight, because you're going to hear from somebody here in just a second who is not only a friend, somebody that I personally respect. I look up to this guy. I think he is a brilliant mind, and he is somebody who very rarely comes out of the shadows to train and to talk about the strategies that he has used in some of the systems that he's developed. And our guest trainer tonight, Eric Bechtold, is going to come out here in just a second, and he is going to provide you with a simple step-by-step system. Not only give you a 30,000-foot view of what that system looks like, but he's also going to give you some scripts. He's going to give you some templates. He's going to show you and give you examples of what to say in certain situations. This training is going to be second to none. It's going to be mind-blowing, but you must, in order to appreciate it, understand what so many people out in the marketplace right now are doing. And it's one of the main reasons why they're struggling and failing so miserably. And when you hear what I'm about to tell you, you will understand instantly why what Eric is going to be covering tonight is so powerful. And you'll also, I think, find a deep sense of gratitude in the fact that we have such a powerful system. Okay? We have, over the course of the last few months, developed a building system that involves not only strategy, which Eric's going to go over, but it also involves very powerful tools that we've created that makes building this business very simple, okay? And one of the things that you have to understand about building this business is that third-party tools, leveraging somebody else's credibility, leveraging the message, the science, all of the things that you're so excited about that oftentimes when they come out of your mouth to your prospect don't come across as powerfully as if they were being said or told or spoken by somebody in some sort of a third-party tool. And this was a lesson that I didn't have an Eric Bechtold that came on a training like Eric is about to do when I first got started in network marketing. And I found myself doing ridiculous things that didn't make any sense and that didn't give me it didn't give me a leg up. really what it did was it frustrated me, it kept me broke, and it kept me struggling. And when I first got started, I would go to people, I would approach them, I would hand out business cards, I would try to sell and tell and explain all the features and benefits and facts and stories and science, and what happened was I would lose people, and I wasn't able to pique their interest and get them involved, and it was because I didn't have a training like what you guys are going to have tonight. And so I found myself not only handing out business cards, I was putting signs in my car, and some of you might even have experienced or done some of these things, and you're not wrong for doing them because most likely you are ambitious. But I was putting signs, those magnetic signs on the side of my truck, and I would put signs in my yard, and I would hope that somebody would call me. But unfortunately, the only time that I ever got a call was that if somebody was telling me to never, ever post a sign in their property again, right? So I would get a phone call all excited thinking that it was a prospect or thinking that somebody was interested, and it would be somebody telling me to never post a sign on their property again. And so it got very frustrating. And until I learned and discovered some of the information and got real training like what we're going to talk about tonight was when I really succeeded. Last thing I want to say is that this is really important. The system that you use, it must be duplicatable. It must be, and I know I hit on this a second ago, but it must be simple enough that even the brand new person that gets started is able to do it. And that's what I want you to really, if you want to build a big organization, if you want to really build a thriving organization, your system cannot be convoluted and complicated. And this is coming from a guy who has built a significantly large business, and Eric has too, utilizing and leveraging both offline and online marketing strategies. And what I can tell you is the system that Eric is going to train you on tonight, along with the tools that we have developed, is by far the most powerful way for you to get duplication and build a thriving organization. And I can tell you from my standpoint, from all of the people that I know, from all of the people inside of this industry, and there's some phenomenal people. I mean, there's some really great trainers. There's some great marketers. There's some great networkers. But there are very few who have the ability to think and train and communicate like Eric Bechtold. So I want you guys to get out some notes. I'd like you also, I definitely will urge you to pick up a piece of paper and a pencil, because he's going to give you some websites to write down. He's going to give you some specific things that are going to be very, very useful in your business. So I'm going to urge you, and I don't just say this just to blow smoke. I don't often call for people to grab a piece of paper and a pencil. But tonight is going to be one of those nights that if you're looking for the specific strategies, the specific secrets, and you're looking for a system that's not hyped up, it's not some shenanigans, if you're looking for something that's real, that you can really do, that you can get started with right now, and that will work for you whether you're 18 or 80, whether you're, I was going to say blind, crippled, or crazy, but you know what? The truth of the matter is that it doesn't matter if you, and I would consider myself technically disabled, right? And although I understand some marketing strategies and I've been able to build my business using both online and offline strategies, I'm not a technical wizard, okay? So for me, this is very exciting, what we're going to teach you tonight, because it works even for a guy like me. It works for, it's working for young people. It's working for older people. It's working for people who are technically challenged, technically savvy. It doesn't matter, because here's why, and you're going to realize this as Eric lays this out very elegantly tonight. This is a simple system. This is something that if you can master, as I always say, master the mundane, okay? So many people in network marketing, they want to get fancy. They want to know the new super secret slick strategy. But here's the bottom line. In network marketing, if you have the right openers to where you can open up and see if a prospect's interested or open, and then you know how to use tools, and you have a tool that actually will work for you, and then you have the ability, the right training, the right words to follow up and ask them to get started, which Eric's going to give you tonight, then I'm telling you, you can go to the top in this business. So please, I urge you, because I want to see you successful. Not only because if you're in, my team or whatever, you're going to benefit me. I want to see you win. So please realize that this business is about, as boring as it may sound, it's about mastering the mundane. And let me tell you something. We are monsters of distraction. We want the newest, hottest thing, but here's the bottom line, is if you master this system that Eric is going to train you on tonight, you have the ability to be able to build the business of your dreams. So that being said, it's my honor, it's my privilege to bring out Eric Bechtold here, who is not only a multiple seven-figure earner who has created some amazing success inside of this industry, but he's also a proud rep here inside of Enagic, a teammate, a friend, and he is going to give you guys some powerful stuff tonight. So Eric, Jan, my man.
All right. Thank you very much, David. I hope I'm coming through okay.
You're loud and clear, brother. You're loud and clear.
All right. Well, heck, after that introduction, I want to listen to this presentation. I'm excited, but no, it's an honor to be here. It is. What we're going to talk about today is going to be more maybe nuts and bolts than maybe some of the training that you've gotten in the past. But I think that's what we all need. This whole mastering the mundane idea. There's just a few little things. The greatest thing about this opportunity, and I know, David, you were at the national event here that we had in Las Vegas a little while ago, and you saw all these people, thousands of people, all making money and doing this, doing great things, building huge organizations, doing some pretty interesting things. It was interesting to me that a lot of the training, I heard a guy named Daniel DeMacaulay, who's one of the top leaders in the entire company. One of his training things he likes to say in his trainings is share the water and then tape your mouth. What we do have is a product that does sell itself, yet there are some strategies that we can use to more effectively share the water and make sure that every single person on our team has that strategy and has a path to success. So really, really excited that you have taken the time to tune in here. And I'm going to, this isn't going to be a long presentation. I'm just going to have you for a little while here because, honestly, what we have to talk about is truly very simple. So what we're going to go over here is 3 simple steps to success. Okay, and the name of this marketing system, if you will, is the share and profit system, which I think is perfect because literally that's all we're going to do is share the water and start profiting. But we are going to talk about strategies for doing that and making sure that both you are successful in sharing the water and profiting and your team members are able to do the same. David, you talked about duplication and making things simple and processes that everybody can follow step by step. That's the key. Guys, you're going to get wealthy in this industry if you can figure out how to take the average person and duplicate them 3 or 4 times. We're all going to have, if we stick in our businesses long enough, you're going to find some superstars that are going to take the ball and run with it on their own. But true duplication happens when the average person that normally maybe couldn't make some whiz-bang shiny network marketing program or home-based business program work, they couldn't make that work because they didn't have a simple enough system. If they can follow some simple steps and duplicate, that's really the key to massive growth within your organization, and that's what it's all about. So I know David had some things going on. He had to jump off. Are you going to hang around for a minute, or do you have to hit the road, Dave?
Well, I've got the newborn here, so I'm gonna kind of listen in. But there's a possibility that my wild little redhead. For those of you who don't know, we just were blessed with a newborn baby here named Cecilia, and she's 6 months old. And Mama had some things to do tonight, so if I do have to drop off a little early, please forgive me. But that'll be where I am.
All right. Well, if I throw it to you and we hear crickets chirping, I'll just keep on moving along here. But with that said, I know we've got a lot of people's attention, and I don't want to abuse it. So let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to skip over all the formal introductions. My name is Eric Bechtold. I've been in this industry of networking for 17 years now, have had a lot of success in the industry, and like Dave, doing a lot of online and offline strategies. And I approach every opportunity a little bit different. You know, I like to look at the product. I like to think about what's going on and try to find what really makes the product so special. And, you know, when I figured out that this program was a machine, really, we're selling these amazing machines that actually produce free samples. I'd never had a situation where the product I had was cranking out free samples that I could give away. So if there's ever been a program or a product that has been built for sampling, it's exactly what we have here. And that's why no matter how many, you know, shiny systems we try to build, it all comes back really to effectively sampling. So this is a very simple 3-step to success process. Let me go ahead and tell you what they are right now. And, you know, you may want to jot these down. Again, just kind of getting the information into your mind so that you can look back at it and reflect on it later is important. So there's 3 phases to this, or 3 actions that you need to take. Number 1, we're going to talk about framing and qualification. All right. Number 2, we're going to talk about follow-up. And number 3, we're going to talk about collecting answers. So number 1, framing and qualification. Number 2, follow-up. And number 3, collecting answers. Okay? Now, I want to throw back to some of my initial thoughts when I started hearing people talk about the water jugs and carrying water around and giving people water. And some of the things that popped into my mind, and maybe you thought about this as well, or maybe you've had these challenges going out in the field and literally handing people water in maybe a water jug that you recycled from some iced tea you had last week or something like that. You know, people are using buying milk jugs, doing all this, buying water, pouring it out, putting ionized water in it, handing it out, doing all sorts of crazy stuff. You know, literally, if somebody came up to you and said, here's a jug of water, it had no labels on it, it didn't look professional, it looked like, you know, they may be trying to poison you. You have no idea what's going on. You have to have established trust with that person to even be able to offer them water in a solution, you know, in a situation like that. So although we've seen a lot of teams and a lot of company-wide success happen from people doing strategies like that, you know, luckily you're on a team who understood some of the weaknesses of what was happening and the fact that they were being successful despite some of their shortcomings, and developed a process where we have tools now at alkalinetools.com. And I want you to write that down, write this website down, and just in case you don't know how to spell alkaline, I don't think I could if I didn't spell it out for you. www.alkalinetools.com. Many of you on the team have already been here for a while, so you know about this. I know Dave did a training a while back about this as well. You can get your water bags and information DVDs for up to 80% discount if you buy in bulk on that site. Now, these are the tools that you're going to need to perform these 3 actions that we're talking about today. Remember, framing and qualification, follow-up, and collecting answers. Obviously, you're not going to have samples to give out if you don't have a methodology and you don't have a message to write along with those samples. The DVD is the message. It gives all the information about why alkaline water, what it is, why the pH is important, all the stuff that goes in to the message that people really need to have in order to make an informed decision. But also, the bags produce a very professional way to deliver the water to your prospects. So, you know, again, we saw a problem. People showing up didn't have a professional methodology of delivering the water. These alkaline tools do just that. They give a very great package. And you know what I love about the DVDs too is David mentioned this earlier. He said third-party credibility, having somebody else give the presentation for you. Wait until you see the quality of the presentation on this DVD if you haven't seen it yet. Dave, I've seen you do a lot of work on the internet. I think that video is one of the some of your best, man. I mean, you were definitely polished there. Did you want to say any words about the DVD or any of the thoughts about the tools themselves?
Yeah, the DVD was a pleasure to make, and I got to be honest with you guys. I have done a lot of stuff, created a lot of marketing material. I was a little skeptical because our expectations were very high. and we brought in one of the top production teams in the whole country to help us out with that. Of course, we had Eric and myself and Adam who worked on the script, and I was nervous. I was wondering how it was going to come out. I was afraid. Because my expectations are so high over the course of the last 5 years or so. My marketing material has done about $150 million, actually going over $160 million in sales now. So I had high expectations for this, and when I got it, although I was nervous, I was absolutely blown away at how well this has worked. And the people who we have showed this to, not only people inside of the company, but also prospects, have been absolutely blown away by it. And it's been very, 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 very effective so far with the people that we have shown it to. It paints the picture of the business better. And I don't want to downplay or minimize the work that anybody's put in for any other videos or any other sales material or anything, because I think everybody's done a great job. But we wanted to make something that was best in class. I mean, that was, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 12. And I think that we hit that, man. So I'm probably the one who's most excited about that DVD, because it just really, really paints the picture. You talk about that coupled with the water bags. It's the perfect storm that's going to skyrocket people's conversions when they get those two tools and use this system that you're training them on in their prospects' hands. Absolutely, absolutely. And guys, I just want you to realize this. Think about this. The scariest part about building a business, the scariest part, the thing that people struggle with the most is actually giving the presentation. We all have that fear of getting up on stage and giving a presentation, or getting in front of somebody and giving a presentation. Heck, sitting down at a table across from somebody else and trying to articulate what makes your opportunity so powerful is frightening to a lot of folks, and I get that. And so what you need to realize about these tools, and what the whole team has worked hard to make available to you, is not only a methodology of giving those samples away, but of also bottling the presentation, so that you don't have to be the sales message. You don't have to be the person that gives the presentation or struggles through that. All you have to be is a tour guide and basically point people at the message. Just say, here's the information, so that they can get it. And that's a good segue into our first step here. Remember, there's 3 steps to the system, and step 1 is framing, okay? Now, what does framing mean? Framing is just explaining why you're giving away the water, why somebody should take this package of water and this DVD from you, all right? Now, I've put together three things here, or we've identified 3 main reasons, or 3 ways to frame this that I would say are very successful, very easy to embrace. And I think the first 2 might be even easier. Now, again, some people have a hard time talking about business opportunity. They feel icky talking about, get involved with my opportunity and do this type of thing. I mean, we all know that we want people on our team. We want people duplicating with us. But it's also easier, and this may be a good way for you to cut your teeth too, to focus on getting the water in the hands of people who may just want to become consumers and ultimately come around to wanting to share the water with other people. The beautiful thing about our business as well is you don't have to buy into the opportunity. You literally buy a machine, and the company gives you the ability to be part of the opportunity. So that's really powerful. So let's look at the first framing methodology, and that's case studies. I believe firmly if every person on our team just made it their mission to go out every day, and I know Dave here in just a moment is going to talk about a goal that they have, and I think it's a good goal, and it's not too lofty, of getting a certain number of DVDs and water samples out there in the hands of folks. But I believe wholeheartedly if we did nothing but just this case study approach, we could grow our business, year after year after year. We could duplicate, have exponential growth. So here it is, this case study idea. And I'm going to give you guys some language here that I think is a good way of approaching it. You might want to put your own twist on it, but just start by thinking about what I'm saying here, okay? So if I approached you, and let's say, again, I'm just getting my business started. So I approached you and I say, you know what, I recently started an ionized alkaline water company, and I'm giving away free samples to build some case studies and testimonials for my new business.
Now, I know it sounds a bit strange, but the water people are drinking, both the bottled water and the tap water, is having a negative effect on their health. And our company's mission is to change people's lives by helping them discover healthy water. I have a DVD I'd like to give you along with a free sample of the water so you can experience it for yourself. Would you be open to that? I'm offering them a free sample and a DVD to give them information. Now, why? How am I framing it? I'm framing it by coming to them and saying, I just started a business, and I want to give you something for free because I know it's so good you're going to want to give me a testimonial. Would you be open to that? And they're going to say, sure, something for free? Give me, they're going to put their hand out, and I'm going to hand them the stuff. Now, we're going to talk about how you also qualify, but think about how easy it is to have that conversation. If you are in business, and here's the thing, guys, you need to make a decision. Are you really in business, or are you just doing this as a hobby? If you really want to make ridiculous amounts of money, if you really want to build an empire, if you really want to build something lasting for your family, you need to take it seriously. So if you're launching a serious business, although it didn't cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to get it started, it doesn't matter that it didn't cost you that. You didn't have to go into boatloads of debt to get your business started. You should still treat it like you did. And you're going to take it seriously because you're launching your business. And if I come to you and said, hey, I just started this alkaline ionized water company. We're doing some amazing things. I've got this very powerful water that I wanted to share with you, and I'd love to get a testimonial from you. Again, you don't have to go into as much detail as I did a moment ago, but what you're trying to do is frame and set the stage for somebody opening their mind to actually receiving that water. Now, Dave, I wanted to throw it over to you. What are some of your thoughts? If I were to come to you and say, hey, man, I've got this water. I'm just getting my business started. This water has the power to really transform your health. You need to give it a shot and let me know what you think about it. I mean, what are some of your thoughts on some of the directions you'd go with that conversation?
As a prospect or as somebody who's prospecting?
As somebody who's prospecting. You're looking for testimonials. You just launched your business yesterday, and you're excited. You want to get out there and you want to talk to people about what you have to give them.
If I'm looking for case studies, there's a couple of approaches that I really like. I mean, number one is, hey, I just started a business, and I'm wondering if you'd, give me your feedback. I respect your opinion, and I've actually got the product. I mean, you don't have to change anything that you're already doing. Would you give me some feedback? And just leave it at that. Oftentimes, prospecting less is always more, right? The other one, if you are looking for, obviously that's because if I go into the thing that I think we have to remember is oftentimes also the less you know, the better off you are. Right. One thing that's very prevalent with network marketers is they succeed in the beginning, and then the more they learn and the more training they get, the more they get inside of their head. And then they want to learn. I remember I was sitting at an Enagic convention, and I sat by a lady, and she told me that she took 6 months off of the business to learn the science and how to clean the machines and all this stuff. Now, I want you to really think about that for a second. She took 6 months off of the business to go and become an expert at all the science and every intricacy of the machine. That's ludicrous, right? And I compassionately shared my experience and perspective with her because I understood that her intentions were good. It was just that I had to I had to remind her, hey, look, you just took 6 months off in your business. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to approach people with science and trying to act like a doctor and feeling this pressure to need to have all the answers. I'm just simply looking for feedback. If I might say, hey, I just started drinking some alkaline water. XYZ happened for me personally. I had lower stress and I was sleeping better. I want you to drink a gallon or two and give me your feedback. See if you feel anything different with your body. There tends to be some really positive health effects from drinking alkaline water and alkalizing your body. Would you be open to that?
Right.
Just that simple. If I was looking for just health case studies, I would definitely be approaching people like that. And I think with this product, that's probably the best way to open the door with people because everybody is open to taking a look at a product. Everybody's open to a restaurant recommendation. Everybody's open to going to see the latest, greatest movie that came out. But what everybody isn't open to is you in encroaching on their financial situation, or them feeling like you're trying to give them financial advice or something like that. So if you have a good product, which we do, that you can share in this way, it's absolutely in my opinion, the best way to get your foot in the door.
Absolutely. So again, this case study approach, there's some other, and Dave just mentioned some of the other directions as well, business interest. But think about the case study idea of just, the whole idea is you just started your business. You want to get some testimonials. You want to get some stories of what your product does, and you want to give the product away. And the cool thing about giving the DVD as a ride-along with the bag of water is you're going to be able to say, watch chapters 1 and 2 of the DVD. It's really going to break down exactly what's going on with this water and what makes it so special. So you don't have to go into the details. And again, that's the key. This is kind of sharing the water and closing your mouth, on steroids, if you will, because you're closing your mouth and you're lending. You're basically saying the water speaks for itself, but there's this DVD that has all this information that if you want to dive in and get it, it's all right there. You're utilizing that third-party credibility to really deliver the message. So that's it. Now, there is another way to do this, another framing method. Let's say you know some people who have struggled with some health issues. All right? So if you know somebody that has, maybe psoriasis or something that you think that the water can help them with, and it could be any number of things. Maybe they have some indigestion issues or something of that nature. Everybody knows, the older you get, the more people you know that have health issues. It's just the way it works, right? So, you could approach somebody that has a health concern and just say, I know you're having a tough time with whatever condition it is. I think I have something that'll help you. This is something that's helping a lot of people right now, including myself, and you can tell your story. I'm sleeping better, my digestion's better, whatever it is, whatever you can relate to them. But say, I'd just like to give you some of this water. I think it's going to help you. I know it's kind of weird that I'm handing you this water, so I do want you to have some information so you know what's going on here. Here's the DVD. Watch this DVD. And you can do, chapter 1 and 2 will tell you a little bit about what's going on with the water. Now, here's the thing, too. If you tell somebody chapter 1 and 2 will tell you what's going on with the water, you know what you're doing, too, psychologically, is they're going to go, well, why is there more chapters to this DVD? If I just tell you to watch chapter 1 and 2. If you watch chapter 1 and 2 and I didn't tell you to watch 3 and 4, what are you going to do? You're going to go watch 3 and 4 just because I told you not to do it, or I didn't mention specifically you should. So as a byproduct, some of your people are going to be exposed to the opportunity simultaneously while they're discovering the benefits of this water. And so I think that's a kind of a nice way of doing it without you being the message about opportunity. And if somebody's mind's open in that direction, they're going to discover it. Now, business interest is another way. And, David mentioned this just a second ago, as this is a direction of how he's approached a lot of people. And I know he's had an enormous amount of success doing this as well. But think about this. If you have somebody that is a business-savvy person, and you're talking to somebody that you really want on your team, and you think this is you value their opinion and respect them as a business person, you could approach them with something like this, a business interest approach. Hey, I've recently started an international business venture. We're helping people get healthy by changing the water they drink. It's a powerful opportunity, but you know what? I really value your opinion, and I'd like to give you a sample of it and see what you think. Would you be open to that? You know what? People love it when you ask them for their opinion. When you approach them in this direction, they're not going to think, okay, this person wants to, and they may be smart enough to probably connect the dots and say this person wants me to take a look at it, but they're going to say, okay, this person respects my opinion. You've basically played to their ego a little bit, and that's the direction that really is going to open their mind. And if you give them a bag of water, here's the other cool thing about the water and the DVD. I could give you a DVD and you could throw it on your kitchen table or whatever, and it may get buried under the mail or whatever. You might not ever find your way back to it. But if you've got a DVD and a big old jug of water, a bag of water too, which is kind of an interesting way of delivering it, There's a lot of reasons for that. It collapses. It's easier to deal with. But, I mean, it's just unique to have this kind of water bag bladder thing. I mean, it's really cool. I don't want to, I think we have pictures and everything up on the Alkaline Tools website. You need to go take a look at them because it really is cool. I've never seen any other company out there bottle their product like this, so it really does stand out. It's going to be a reminder. If you bring this thing home, if this guy goes, sure, I'll take it, or this gal says, sure, I'll take it, and they take it home and they sit it on their table, their spouse or somebody's going to walk along and go, what the heck is that thing? What is going on with this water? It's going to become a conversation piece in addition to the fact that the DVD's there to give them information. So they go, oh, there's a DVD that tells you about it. The likelihood of them popping that in and watching it is very high because there's this disruptive bag of water sitting there in combination with that DVD. So, it's about framing it and approaching people, but really it's all about just delivering the message and getting it in their hands. And we are going to talk about how to qualify them. Here's something, too. Before you step away, and we have some power tips and some other things here, a way of building a sense of urgency so people will consume the water right away. But think about this. When you're giving that person the information, say, and this is really an easy transition on the case study because you can say, with the sense of urgency, you can say that the water has a maximum healing property within about 2 to 3 days. So please watch the DVD and drink the water as soon as possible. It's one of those things that's special. You'll understand when you watch the DVD, but you actually need to consume the water as soon as you can. And so, that's another thing that I think psychologically, if you tell somebody this water's got some pretty cool properties, but it loses its effectiveness the longer you wait to consume it, that's going to create some curiosity. It's also going to create a sense of urgency. So if I was doing a case study and I said that to somebody, do you mind if I get back in touch with you in the next 3 or 4 days? At that point, you should have had some time to try the water and also check out the DVD. Let's schedule a time. Now, you're going to qualify people. I wouldn't, if I was getting ready to give somebody a jug of water and a DVD, I wouldn't part with those tools. And you need to think about them as tools because there's a little cost to those things. You want to make sure that they're going to be willing to qualify to get them. And I'm going to ask for information as a qualification process. I want to get their full name. I want to get their email address. I want to get a phone number. I want to schedule a time to get back in touch with them. And the beautiful thing about framing it by building the urgency, again, you're framing urgency by saying, hey, this water has its maximum healing properties for only a couple of days, so watch the DVD and drink it as soon as possible. Chapters 1 and 2 of the DVD explain exactly what's going on with the water. I also think it's, and again, I'm just kind of brain dumping on you guys, but I also think it's important that they have some information so they can really understand what it is they're drinking. But there's a couple things going on here. You're framing it. You're putting it in the right sense of putting them in the right mind to accept it. You're qualifying them by actually getting their information, and you're going to mark your calendar and follow back up with those people. But before I go on, there's some other little tips and strategies here. We've set the follow-up expectation, and that's something that I wanted to explain. So framing is really a two-part process. You're framing why you're giving them the water, and again, the case study direction, the health concern direction, the business interest direction. You kind of want to pick the direction that meets who it is that you're targeting, okay? And that makes sense, obviously, right? Pretty simple stuff. But the other thing you're framing is you're framing the expectation of follow-up. And if I'm gonna get back with the person, and obviously I am, you want to set the follow-up expectation so they're expecting it. And you could say something like this, I'd really like to know how the water makes you feel. I'm also willing to refill your supply so you can consume enough to really experience its effects. So you can also let them know, hey, I'm willing to give you more of this. And what you're doing is creating a reciprocity with your prospects as well because you're willing to give them something for free. And that's the beautiful thing about sampling too. Let's look at what happens when somebody gives something to somebody. They want to give back. And if all you're asking for is their feedback, they're going to be very willing to say, sure, I don't mind giving you my information so we can get back in touch. Let's schedule a time. So, what you're going to do, in addition to going to alkalinetools.com, getting your bags for the water, and also getting the DVDs, and remember, getting them at 80% discount if you buy them in bulk, in addition to getting those 2 materials you're going to need there, also get yourself, or maybe you have an online strategy. Like I use my cell phone quite a bit for my calendar, but I also like for this type of process to have a actual physical calendar. And what it does, I mean, if I'm sampling in person, if I'm talking to somebody right here, and I open up my calendar and I pencil in their name and their time, and I write down their information, it also solidifies in their mind that I'm serious about following up with them. And you can keep a calendar just for your Enagic business, and so you can pull it out, you can keep track of everything that's going on. But I think that's critical. So there's a couple things here: framing, obviously, making sure they know why you're giving them water, framing the expectation for follow-up, building a sense of urgency so they'll consume the water right away, which also allows you to frame when you're going to do your follow-up. If I tell you, hey, the maximum healing properties of this water is just a couple days, watch the DVD and drink it as soon as possible, they're going to want to drink it, and then you can say, I'd like to follow up with you in the next 3 or 4 days. Will that work for you? What day is best? Open up your calendar and pencil it in right there. Name, email address, and phone number. Again, they're giving you something to get something so that you can follow back up and do your follow-up process, which we're going to talk about right now. So let's move on to step 2. We talked about framing and qualification. Let's talk about follow-up, all right? So you're going to get back in touch with the person as agreed, okay? If you know the person in person, maybe you bump into them at the gym or something, or bump into them at the store or whatever, some place that you see them quite often at work, whatever it is, you may want to just reconvene with that person at a given time. A lot of you guys are going to be calling people back on the phone. That's my favorite strategy for following up after sampling, because I like to give a lot of samples out, and it's easier for me to sit there and just make phone calls all day. But again, there is power in being with somebody in person as well, because they can share their stories. You can connect a little bit easier with them. But again, it could be done either way, however you agree to do it. All right? Now, the first thing I'm going to do when I follow up with a prospect, and I should just, you really need to make sure, number one, that they've watched the DVD, okay? So what I do, because, guys, I'm not trying to just enroll everybody under the sun. I want to enroll people that are actually going to take some steps. And if the person agreed to taking the step of watching the DVD, I'm not going to try to communicate to them what's on the DVD if they haven't had a chance to watch it. I'm going to reschedule a time to follow up with them. So the first question out of my mouth is going to be, have you had a chance to sample the water and watch the DVD yet? And if they said, I've drank some of the water, but I haven't watched the DVD, I would say this. I'd just say, you know what? There's a lot of information on that DVD. It's really going to tell you and show you what's so special about this water, much better than I could explain it. Watch the DVD. I'm going to go ahead and grab my calendar. Let's reschedule a time to talk when you've had a chance to see that. Fair enough? Yeah, that's fair. Great. Reschedule, okay? If it's a quick phone call, it's not that big a deal. If they went ahead and agreed to meet you in person, because they've made that personal commitment, they're probably going to watch it. 9 times out of 10, they will have already watched the DVD. So when they say, I've had a chance to watch it, then you're going to ask this question. What did you like most about what you saw on the DVD? What did you like most about what you saw on the DVD? And what you're going to do at that point is you're going to shut up and let them talk to you, okay? Your goal is to have them talk more than you're talking, because you want to sit back and listen to what they're interested in. What did you like most about what you saw on the DVD? This is also kind of framing as well, because I'm leading them to tell me what they liked most. Oh, I really loved how the water, how pH balances your body and helps knock down the acidity. I really liked that. Or I really liked, they're going to tell you what it is. They're going to tell you if it's the health aspect of it. If they've cheated and watched the whole DVD, which is awesome, they do that, they could really say, you know what, I love how I can make money helping other people with their health. I didn't realize that I was poisoning myself by drinking tap water. Whatever it is. I mean, if they watch that DVD, they're going to have some good things to say, because there's a lot of good information on that DVD. So again, what did you like most about what you saw on the DVD? They're going to give you the answer to unlocking the next step. Okay? Now, they're going to tell you whatever it is. And then the next question, and every once in a while you may get somebody who goes, this will happen if you sample enough. If you have hundreds and hundreds of people, you're going to run into some person that's just a negative Nancy or just a, an all-around negative person that's just going to say, oh, that's one of them network marketing things. I don't want to have anything to do with it. And they're going to hang up on you, or they're going to whatever. But most of the time, especially in a sampling situation, when you've put a professional sample, you put some money in materials in their hands, they're going to be very open. And if they've accepted that, they're not going to be negative. So most of that, and if that's what's stopping you from reaching your full potential, the worst thing that could ever happen is somebody tells you they're not interested. Who cares? My strategy for looking at these types of businesses and getting people started in a network program is I want to work with people whose minds are open. It's much easier to find an open mind than to create one. So if you're going to get somebody who's actually going to work the business, you don't want to drag somebody kicking and screaming into your business. Think about that. You want somebody that gets involved in your business that's willing to do the things you're doing. And if that negative person, that's a network market, come on, buy me, and you hound them and hound them and hound them, and maybe you break the person down and get them in. Now you've got a negative person on your team you got to deal with. Why do that to yourself? So it's much easier to find an open mind than to create one. This process is designed to reveal the people's minds who are already open. All right, so that's the key. So what did you like most about what you saw on the DVD? Open-minded, positive person is going to tell you. And then you can say, do you see the value of having one of these machines in your home? Do you see the value of having one of these machines in your home? You're basically doing a trial close right here. Yes, I do. I love the machine. This is awesome. I'd love to be able to just go into my kitchen and get some water every day, and that'd be awesome. You're taking the prospect's temperature, and based on their feedback, you're going to know what direction to take them. All right? So, they may say, yeah, I'd love to have a machine in my home, but you know what? I can't afford it right now. I don't have the money to do it. And you can say, you know what's awesome? We can show you how to finance it. You have an answer to that. If you're really serious about it, you can finance it. But you know what? Why don't we give you a little bit more water so you can really experience the full benefits of what's going on? If they want it, you could go, if they're really, really excited, a lot of people who get it right away and they have the wherewithal to do it will just put it on their credit card right there. They'll just buy the product. They'll just buy the machine. And that's beautiful, but you're taking their temperature. Now, some people may want another sample of the water. You know what? I haven't really had a chance to experience its benefits yet, so I need another sample. Is that okay? You know what? Absolutely. Why don't we go ahead and get together? I'll show you the machine. Bring your water bottle or your water bag over, and we'll refill it for you. How's that sound? Yeah, that's awesome. So now you can get them interacting with the machine. How cool is that? You're creating conversations. You're creating activity. You're discovering who's open to what it is you're doing, and you've got several ways of framing it to get them there. That is very, very powerful. And once you've done that, we can move on to step 3, which is collecting an answer. And we're kind of doing that a little bit here in the follow-up process, but we'll talk more about exactly how to do that. But before we do that, I wanted to talk about a power tip. Something for you guys out there. And I know David had to jump off. I get it. He's shorthanded today. But one of the things I mentioned early on was the fact that he's got a goal for folks out there to get 100 of these out there, 100 DVDs, 100 samples of water a month. And honestly, think about this. If you're serious about building a business, if you went and spent, let's just pretend you're opening up an alkaline water store, and you had to pay rent, and you had to pay employees, and you had to build that water store out. So you had signage and advertising and everything to get people coming in the door. You'd be literally probably hundreds of thousands or $100,000 into it. You could do it on the cheap maybe. It'll be in a bad location. It won't look good. But, if you put all that money into it, are you going to give out more than 100 samples of your product? Are you going to talk to more than 100 people per month in your business? You better, or you're not going to make the rent. That's the thing. If you treat your business and you look at it like, I just started a water store, and it's my mission to make this thing a success. And the cool thing about it with the leverage-based compensation model that we have, every time somebody comes aboard, it's like you just opened up another water store, right? Because they can start sharing it and start doing the same type of thing. So unlike that situation, you actually create an army of other people that are working alongside you. When you understand what's happening with this comp plan and what we're doing, you can't help but want to share the water. So the goal is to get it out there to at least 100 people a month, okay? So here it is, and you may be thinking, how am I going to do that? One quick way, a shortcut, is a little power tip. And this is just a way of getting yourself in front of qualified people and getting in front of a lot of people by going through some gatekeepers, okay? Think about who would be a good target for alkaline water. Who's health conscious? Who wants this type of stuff? Well, I know there's a lot of gyms in my area that I live in. In fact, the gym I belong to on the first Monday of every month allows members to come in if they're in some sort of business. I know there's chiropractors that come in there and all sorts of people. I could set up a booth in there and talk to people right there and start sampling my water to people who are health conscious. Chiropractors, chiropractors out there will understand the value of hydrating, what that can do to the body, what it does, why alkaline. If you give a chiropractor the video and they understand what's going on with alkaline water and pH balanced water, they're going to get excited about this. Yoga studios, health food events, health shows. Think about the places you can position yourself that are going to allow you to possibly sample 100 people a day, not a month, a day. And you can start realizing. Now, here's another thing. When I'm doing, and you'll see how when you're doing the step 3, the follow-up process. So you've done framing, follow-up. When you're doing step 3, which is collecting answers, you'll see that every no actually opens another door. So let's look at collecting answers, okay? So when it's time to collect an answer, the person's either sampled some more water, they've told you that they're ready to get started, they'd love to have a machine. That leads you to collecting an answer. So there's 2 questions that you should be asking here. And they're kind of two-part. The first one's a 2-part question. Number 1, what machine would you like to have? And would you like to finance it or would you like to buy it outright? What machine would you like to have? That's the first question. You don't even have to ask about the other part until they're ready to pay for it. What kind of methods can I use to pay for it? Can I write you a check? No, we accept Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. Do you have one of those? Sure. Which machine would you like to have? Now, the cool thing about the DVD is if you don't know all the details about the machines are talked about on the DVD. Again, it's a complete tool. Most people that are excited about this product that already have an open mind have already consumed the content on that DVD. They're going to know what machine they want. And a lot of the cool thing about open-minded people is they're going to be so open to this idea. They're not going to want the littlest machine. They're going to go, I really want that K8, or I really want the best machine because I understand what this does, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for excited, like-minded people that want to do this thing and do it big. So you're going to hear all sorts of different answers to that. What kind of machine? Oh, I want the under-the-counter. Oh, I want the shower unit, whatever. Cool. But they're going to answer that question. Number 2, and this is if the person doesn't want to do it. You know what? I don't want to lead you on. I appreciate the water samples and everything, but I just can't afford it, and I wish I could, but I can't right now. You can say, we do have a way for you to finance it and get you, we can get you financed if that would. No, I really just don't want to do it. That's fine. You know what? Do you know anybody else who would benefit, from this water and might want a free sample? Do you know anyone else who could benefit from this water and might want a free sample? You're disarming them from the idea of coming at them saying, do you know anybody else who would want to buy this? Do you know anybody else who could benefit from this water and would like a free sample? So every no opens another door. Sure, you know what? My Aunt Sally has this Crohn's or something going on. They don't know what's up. She could sure, benefit from this water. Perfect. Let me get on the phone with her. I'll offer the water to her and see what I can do for her. Thank you very much for the referral. Even no's open doors. You need to turn those no's into open doors so you can get your quota of 100 samples out the door. See that? The beautiful thing is as you get this ball rolling and you do a little motion, it's going to be impossible to stop it. It's going to be very, very simple. And that's the other thing I want you guys to understand. I really want you to understand, we're not talking about some whiz-bang online marketing process. We're talking about a simple 3-step process: framing and qualification, following up, collecting answers. How easy is that? And it all starts at alkalinetools.com. Go to alkalinetools.com, get the bags, get the DVDs, get yourself a little calendar so you can use it specific for this, and get your mind right. Get ready to really build your business. Make the decision that you're going to seriously build this business. We're going to, the beautiful thing about our mission here is really all we're doing is transforming the lives of others by simply changing the water they drink. We've got a message of health. We've got a powerful product that's real, that people get real benefits from. There's people in this company who never thought they'd be in network marketing, ever. They thought, oh, that network marketing stuff, but they're in love with the product and they couldn't help but get involved in it. You've got something magical. You've got something special here. So when they're ready to get started, hopefully you know how to do this. The enrollment process is pretty simple online at www.enagic.com. If you're not clear at how to enroll somebody, get in touch with your upline, your sponsor, have them walk you through, show you how to put somebody in the process so you can do it with your members when they're ready to get started. I wouldn't send them to the website and say get signed up. I would help them get signed up. You can also get offline paper forms, another way to do it. So if you're meeting them in person, you can just sit there and fill out the form and get that going. And so what I would encourage you to do too is the last thing, and this isn't, I could have called this thing a 4-step process, because the final thing you want to do is what I call closing the loop. When you bring a new member in or a new customer in, the cool thing about even a customer is, remember, even customers can share the water and start becoming part of the opportunity if they so desire. All they have to do is decide to become a representative and get started. They don't have to do anything, spend all sorts of extra money. And, most programs out there, a lot of programs, literally you could spend thousands of dollars just to have the opportunity. Here you're getting an amazing product and they're giving you the opportunity. So a lot of people have come into this program, again, by first falling in love with the alkaline water and their machine. I know some serious money earners in this company that had a machine in their house for a couple years before they actually pulled the trigger and became a rep because they loved the product so much they couldn't hide from it any longer. They had to be part of it. But it is really powerful. Closing the loop, however, is simply where you give your new team the website shareandprofit.com so they can learn how to order their tools and get started sharing as well. So, this is a powerful process. Again, it is simple. If you stop and think about it, it's just 3 simple steps to success. But simplicity is what sells. There's that old marketing adage, the KISS principle of marketing, KISS, which stands for keep it simple, stupid, or keep it simple, silly, however you want to break it down. But that's what works. We have a simple process. We have amazing tools. You've got leadership here that cares about you and wants you to really make something happen here and really transform your life by simply transforming your water. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's 10 o'clock. We've been here with you for an hour. I'm wrapping up the call. I hope you found a lot of golden nuggets of information, some food for thought. But remember, don't just take this information and flush it down the toilet. Use this information to build your business. It is simple, and it will become part of the culture. Other people will do the same thing within your organization, and that's going to put you on the fast track to success. This is Eric Bechtold signing off. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now, guys.